Shalom, first and foremost, like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth and sincerity. And shout out to Yakim that's out there in four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. We're talking about, the return of Yahweh Shai, and yet, many things were telling us, of it, but, even in video games, you had this one from 1982, which was made on the Atari 2600. I own this game many a times, never thought about it until now being in the truth about it. I'm going to read this article on this is from the Wikipedia of it. Cosmic Ark is an Atari 2600 game designed by Rob Fulop and published by iMagic in 1982. And remember, the one of the greatest computer designers, the one that doesn't get credit, was an Israelite, and yet this game was made on the Atari 2600. And so, whether they knew or did not know, this game is loosely connected with iMagic's Atlantis, made by the same company, iMagic. In the game, same small spacecraft appears in both games. The objective is to gather specimens from different planets in a spaceship which contains the survivors of the city of Atlantis. Well, you know how Yahweh Shai is going to gather his elect from the four quarters of the earth, thus the survivors of the nuclear war, which is about to happen. There are two versions of the cartridge. One allows the player to toggle the Starfield display with the black and white colored TV switch, and the other Starfield can be disabled. But, this is just something that, came out many years ago. In the first stage, the player must trend off meteor showers from all four sides of the screen by pushing the joystick to fire in the desired direction, similar to the 1980 game Space Zap. The second stage is the player to pilot a shuttle to a planet and use its tractor beam to pick up the life forms, which is exactly how Yahweh Shai is going to pick us up, by way of them beams from them chariots. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the game in play. Trying to get the sound here. So you see, it's a real easy game to play, but that's how he's going to gather his elect. But of course, it's going to be a lot easier than that. Of course, we know that's not going to happen on that day. So this is prophecy, even with that old video game, which obviously you can see it's an easy video game, but you know, we're coming into the tribulation time, you know, into great tribulation, where you know, we know it as the time of Jacob's trouble. But you know, this gives us hope that even with just an old Atari game that I used to play back in the 80s, you can see, though. And I'm going to read out of Mark, and what chapter is this? I believe chapter 13, verse 24, if I'm not mistaken. However, after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And of course, what's that talking about? When the nuclear missiles hit. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds, which is talking about the chariots, just like you saw in the game, with great power and glory. And he will send out the angels to gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven. You know, just like what you see in that video game, you know. And of course, you know, the nuclear missiles are going to be destroying this place at the same time. But anyhow, yeah, that's it. Even in that video game, you can see very much so that, you know, Esau knows that this time's getting closer, and that's why Donald J. Trump created a space force, you know. So they're letting it out there that, yes, in fact, there have, I mean, they can't deny now. You see them in chariot sightings all the time. They're being recorded with camera phones. They can't dispute that anymore. There was a time when Area 51 could be disproved. But not anymore. They're not going to be able to put out their disinformation anymore. So, for all that, I want to say, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakal Kadosh, Brakatham. Hope this has been edifying. Shalom.